It's 10:35, we'll come back into session. We have Mr. Berman with this is our addition, DOC work program work order.
Yeah, basically what it is we already have the master agreement effective as of August 29, 2013. This is just the changes that they made in the Warner Creek Correctional Facility in Lake County towards the cost for the work crews when we use them. So it's just mainly new work order. And we just need a signature and approval from you guys. I met with Lisa on this, and we kind of redone some things on just certain things at the ski hill, because ski hill has some specialty stuff like the lift, of how they operate when they do piling, if you get work on, or use the ski lift for anything or anything like that. So we haven't really used them a lot. We've been using them on the RAD project grant with the ski hill, which they're still kind of working on that. We did an extension on that, so.
All right, so we can approve that tomorrow.
Okay. So if you don't mind, Mr. Chair, I'm going to ask Dave just to give us a quick update, if you wouldn't mind, on our new workforce office.
Oh, it's ready to be moved in. We just kind of need them there to let us know exactly what they want, the way they want it, as far as there's some cabinets still in there, and there's just some stuff we're unsure. We haven't removed yet, because when we did meet with them, they mentioned they wanted some of that, or they might be able to utilize it. So we just kind of left it sit there, and we're just waiting for their word to say yeah, and they will rip it out if they're leaving in there. It's ready to move in.
I didn't read it, but I saw Chip this morning sent an email out to you, and I know he copied me on it, so hopefully they're going to be here sooner than later to
Yeah, it's
let
supposed
you
to
know.
be here this week.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's today, I don't know if it's Friday.
And the other room that the sheriff was going to use for storage, is that all accommodated?
Yes, it's all done. They've already moved into it. We revamped it. There's a few things I wish we would have done different where we could have, that we didn't know because we started on it, but it worked out nice. It's a really nice storage facility for the sheriff now. They have plenty of room to be able to do their job.
Very good.
Very good. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, guys.
So, liaison updates.
Now, we do have a set of minutes, Commissioner. I don't see that on the agenda, but.
We do have a set of minutes. There's several things I would like to go over with Melanie, bring those forward tomorrow.
Okay.
So we need to add that to tomorrow's agenda, minutes on there. If we would. All right. Now we'll move to liaison updates. Anybody have anything? Last week was a pretty slow week.
I was sick on Tuesday and Wednesday with a sore throat, and then I took my lovely wife down to California for her birthday. But another thing that's on the, I noticed that the county sent a support letter to the Oregon Smoke Management Review Committee. I'm on that committee, that's why I wasn't here that day. And it follows what the letter sent. Did Jim Wallace compose that?
No, Craig Bentz composed
Bentz.
most of it.
Okay.
I made a few changes.
But it's right in line with what the committee is considering at this time, making some changes to make it scrap burning more feasible. And there's another topic I've been approached on broadband things. You're both familiar with TV white space spectrum.
On what?
TV white space for broadband internet.
No.
It's been in the hopper for several years. In other countries they use it quite a bit. But it's another alternative for giving internet out to far remote areas, anywhere from 3 miles to 10 miles, depending on interference. But it requires use of radio frequency that has been freed up when the radio went from analog to digital. However, there's some opposition for internet to use those. The National Association of Broadcasters, they're concerned that it might be some interference with their thing. But the organization called Connect America Now, and it's kind of backed by Microsoft, who's promoting this TV white space. Oregon Association counties have signed off on it in support. Oregon Technology Association has signed off, and several other counties across the state have. I'm still, to me, what my research on it is, it's a serves kind of like a super Wi-Fi, not so much as a broadband internet, but more as a broadcast out from home base. Right now, if you're sitting in your house, you can receive your Wi-Fi for a few yards outside of your house. This would transmit it across the community. A farm kid out on a tractor would have access to it. And I've told the folks who approached me that we would consider it, but I'm still doing a little research on it, so I might have it for next meeting. Except on the next meeting, I'll be at a Oregon Cybersecurity Advisory Council meeting. OLEC, Association of Oregon Counties, asked me to participate in that, which is my first recollection. I don't have time, but I went ahead anyway because it's a learning experience of cybersecurity. Of course, we have Aztec that provides here, but this is a broader scheme of things. So I'll be gone on the 17th, but I'll bring back and share some information on this TV white space prior to that third week. Also, I understand that during the last meeting, which I was at, this cybersecurity thing, that there was some discussion with Ginger Costo, and seemingly, Brad, you had a relative of something saying that it's an easy fix to get broadband.
Relatively easy.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, I'm very fortunate to have a cousin that works in California on a lot of those types of services. So whenever I was just spending time with him out hunting on the desert, more than not the broadband, it's more the microwave so that you can get the internet services to these smaller communities. And he hasn't sent me any information that he says he could probably get to me, but with the mountaintops and everything, what he's talking, it's relatively inexpensive, relatively easy to be able to hit some of these frontier rural areas. Ginger, she talked about some of the issues that you guys have already worked on and some of the uniqueness trying to get those mountaintops and that part of it. But we all know that we need the actual fiber out there. We know that that's the long range thing, is try to get that there for the broadband and all that. But the stopgap is what I was looking at that triggered my curiosity, because it's not my forte at all. As far as I go all the way back to Senate Bill 622, when there was a promise through a lawsuit in 2002, 2000 to 2011 or whatever, that we'd all end up with broadband or fiber. So that's where my interest came, that's where my question came to Ginger, was from that relatively simple speaking term is, you got the mountaintops, you can beam it down, if you have the line of sight, beam it down, you can get that coverage. Yeah. And I don't know megabytes and all that stuff, Commissioner, but with our not very dense populated areas out there, seems the way he told it, my cousin Byron said, is to put it in perspective, they could watch the very best Netflix all at the same time and it would be plenty fast.
Yeah, what we're working on is a two-pronged attack. One is fiber, and if that's best because we can get cell phone coverage through the fiber to flush. The other backup that we're working on is microwave, but the hilltop to hilltop, it depends on the ownership and the constraints. Being right at Hard Mountain and back down into the valley would be ideal, but that could be done with a solar panel or whatever. The cell phone service had to have commercial electricity and refuge. That did that for a while. So that's why we're going with trying to get fiber is you can get around and get cell phone service in addition to high quality broadband.
Yeah.
So we got two other individuals working on the microwave at the same time also.
Very good. You have anything?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, Chester Robertson from Alturas, the county administrator nowadays, reached out to Chester a while back, and Dave's setting up probably a lunch meeting with him, with our new rail line operator. Time hasn't been completely settled on yet, trying to balance everybody's schedules and what all's going on, but we'll reconnect with Chester and Modoc County, and I think we've got some good things to share with them relative to rail line service and being part of the community down there. Public Health Hospital, OHA, will be meeting with those entities, being Jay and I, next week on this potential hospital public health contract. Public Health and Mel and myself and Jay will be meeting with Brad Brown this Thursday at 10 o'clock. And Brad's gonna give us an overview of some HIPAA things and opportunities. And we're gonna also need to talk to Melanie just briefly during that on the thermometer situation up in North Lake. You probably already got that down. Just wanted to give a acknowledgement to our congressional delegation. As we all know, the Red Rock project, without going back into that in a big way, but the Red Rock project is making significant gains. The final part of this, it will be the bonds that they were issued by the state Oregon Business Bond Committee. The other half of the bonding that was needed, those are taxed. They're not non-taxable bonds. And so Red Rock and the financial institute that they're working with will be meeting with the State Treasury's Bond Commission sometime here. Date isn't been settled upon. They've got their next meeting, I think, the Bond Commission on the 24th, but Jeff and the Financial Institute may be ready before then. And what's significant about what our congressional delegation did is they allowed in the tax plan for the private activity bonds, the tax exempt bonds, to be carried forward that authority into this 2018, which is going to allow Red Rock, as they look to close, to have the significant portion of their $245 million in bonds that will be sold available in a tax exempt status. So just wanted to thank Congressman Walden and Senator Wyden and Senator Merkley for their support on that. So, and lastly,
well, on that, I can't help it thanking you for going to Salem to testify in support of that. We did get the compliment from Jim Walls that for you to make that trip and get back there for the meeting the next day was, I appreciate that very much. But with that and with the support and through where we're at today, also what you did mention is that $70 million grant was secured at the same time as down to crunch time. The state of Oregon, many other individuals, and everybody works so diligently and so hard, is that it has the domino effect, as you talk, to be the success not only for them, but for Lake County. So thank you for that trip up there, your time.
over the phone. There were about 20 folks, I think, on the phone. I think Commissioner, you were the only one that got to speak, so.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah, they appreciated it. And the last item is this, the state senator selection that's coming up this Thursday over in John Day. I definitely won't be traveling over there, as we've all saw from our emails. Lake County commissioners each have a third of a vote. It may be just a deciding third of a vote, but most of the counties, I'm just looking at it here, they run anywhere from 5 1/3 votes to each commissioner to down to our third of the vote, along with Wheeler County has a third of the vote. So we'll have 5 votes each. So anyway.
So with that said, Melanie, I'm going to participate here at the 1 o'clock. If, whenever setting that up, might be able to stream that in over the video would be nice. So working with Josh, and I think Dan's gave you the contact.
I haven't given it to
Or
her.
will give you the contact information. That'd be nice if it could be streamed in. If not, well, I'll do my participation by phone. And I do believe we'll have to notify that as a public meeting, because we are making that decision, we're casting a vote.
And we each cast our own vote individually as opposed to a board of commissioners.
Right. Yep.
Jim, are you familiar with this topic?
A little bit,
Variolis have vacated.
yeah.
And through the process, we've got 3 candidates
Mhm.
to step in for his slot.
Mhm.
And the affected counties will vote on who that replacement will be.
Right.
And we have 33% of the vote because Eastern, that District 30 that Varioli covered was only Warner Valley, low population, so the votes are prorated on population.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I really don't have anything to add too much with the department updates. You guys hear quite a few things I'm working on also, I guess. Building department is of concern with Klamath County. Given the notice, Klamath County did give us the 30-day working days, so that did get us to the end of January. My discussion with the state was, as Jennifer said, is I was trying to find a stopgap to be able to maybe do video footage and get by. Interested to hear some of the thoughts Jennifer has sort of worked on over the weekend. Haven't had a chance to sit down with her, but the one thing I'll say is right now everything's looking good because the building permits are up. We have sort of set it up to be successful during the time whenever the recession hits, and if a recession hits, and then you're down to hardly any at all. Hence, that's the reason why Klamath County is so happy to have us, is they were down to laying people off and only working 32 hours a week, so they entered into a contract with us as a stopgap. Now things are up, and so they're sort of overwhelmed. Commissioner Boyd, he supported us quite a bit, and he's very much willing to help us out all they can. Their board, and I fully understand, wants to take care of Klamath first. But I did remind him, remember, we were a great partner whenever Klamath was struggling, and so I'm not sure any of those commissioners were on at that time.
No.
But anyways, Commissioner Boyd definitely understood that. So we still have a wonderful working relationship with them.
And those 3 commissioners over there was acknowledged as persons of the year in Lake County.
And say again?
On the Herald News on Sunday, front page, these 3 commissioners of Klamath was acknowledged as, you always get a man of the year or a woman of whatever. They was acknowledged as the persons of the year for Klamath County.
By the chamber, by who?
Only partially read thing, but we get the newspaper here to Friday, Sunday.
Interesting. Very good. That's pretty much all I have. Recap of today. Tomorrow we will have the minutes added on for tomorrow, the draft minutes. IT department resolution, I don't believe we need to move that forward. I think we're all in consensus for Melanie to continue to work on that. Is that good with the board? Friends of the library, I'd like to leave on there in case Jake or others come up with a thought on a little bit of funding. And I would think it'd be great if we found $500 to get to them from the county.
They took on early learning a while back, and it had been one of my passions. This fits exactly in molding out kids for more success.
Yeah. So I'd like to leave that on there. Is there anything else on, I do believe that we'll probably, legal counsel, last I knew, is not going to be here tomorrow, it's available by phone. I would anticipate probably executive session, follow-up from our last meeting. Other than that, that's what I have.
Great.
Did you have anything, Melanie?
So we have the city of Paisley.
What?
We need to vote on the city of Paisley tomorrow. The heating system.
Yeah, the city.
I didn't have that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's on there.
Okay.
I have a hard time hearing your voice, Melanie, sorry. You're gonna have to
Okay,
yell
I
at me.
know. Sorry.
Okay,
You have a very soft voice like I do.
with that, we will adjourn at 4 minutes to 11.